get better. Need it more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything you see?
Yo, what's going on, man? The Kid for Kings. We up here at CCA this morning. Officer Hawkins with us, man. As you guys are joining us. So, camera angle a little bit off, but we here. We're going to do this, man. To pray us in. And we're going to, jump into this. There we go. Lord, we just thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for your grace, Lord. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for waking us up, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you just guide our conversation, Lord, as we just learn how to do better in difficult situations. Lord, we just want to say that we love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah. So, man, I'm excited today, man. Like I said, we here at CCA, man. We got a couple kids here. They're gonna come and ask some questions. Got Officer Hawkins. We just gonna figure out. Got Mr. Rich here, social media star. You know what I mean? So we just gonna we're gonna ask some questions. Hopefully get some insight from you, Mr. Officer Hawkins, and we just go from there. So if you want to introduce yourself and go from there.
All right, good morning, guys. Appreciate you guys' time to talk to you about some serious stuff. My name is James Hawkins. As Mr. DK calls me Officer Hawkins, because I was a police officer in Harris for like 21 years. I was a police officer before you guys were even. I probably stopped being a police officer when most of you guys were babies. So I stopped like 5 years ago. So it was a little while ago, but like I said, I'm from Harrisburg. I grew up in Steelton, Oberlin. My kids went to CA back in the day, a long time ago. So, I know I'm very familiar with, you guys and just where you live, your daily, I went to East Junior when it was a junior high school. I went to East High. So, I probably know your parents, your grandparents. I probably know a lot. So, just when we have this conversation, I just want you guys to remember I'm just a regular person. So stuff I'm going to tell you about as far as being a police officer, that's a job. Understand? I'm a regular person. I'm going to just talk to you like Mr. DK would talk to you or like anybody else is going to talk to you. So, just ask me any questions. Anything you guys want to know, just ask. If it's appropriate, I'll give you an answer.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Hey,
appreciate it.
My bad. Okay. Hey, real quick, let me just, something else I want to throw in there. I was a police officer for 21 years. For 6 of those years, I was a school resource officer. So some of you guys might have DARE officers or school resource officers in your so I did that. I worked at probably some of the schools you guys go to. I was at Foos, I was at Roland, I was at John Harris, I was at Camp. I was at all the schools in the city. Steele, Steele's not even open anymore, I don't think. Ben Franklin, all those schools. So like I said, I'm very familiar with a lot of things you guys see, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff. So, like I said, you guys ask me anything and I hope it's a good conversation. Hope you guys learned something to take.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate that. So, what we're gonna do first?
Hey, Miss Kia.
Hey, Hawk, how are you?
Wonderful. Nice to see you.
Yeah. So, what we're gonna do first? I have a video. I did send it to you. They haven't seen the video yet. I'm gonna play some of it, and then we're just gonna talk about it. Okay. So,
All right.
Here you guys. If you guys have any questions about the video, you can come up and talk to Mr. Hawkins about it. But I'll play the video first. So let's throw this.
It's an opportunity to be able to talk to someone if I can. So please.
To a report of gunshots near an apartment complex.
Just one? Wait, 2. There's a third one here. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to those people over there. Yeah. Did you guys hear anything? Did you guys hear anything? Sound like gunshots? Walk. Are you gonna talk? Hit. Get off my block. It's not your block. It ain't your block. I think they're they have to do something with it. Went over there, they're like, get off my block. This is our block.
Yeah, let's take a walk.
Yeah.
Y'all see that car? We're looking at all the cars. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to look at this one too. We're going to look at every car. Go ahead. Thank you. Yeah. There's no reason for y'all to look at that car.
There's every reason. We have every reason to.
Okay,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say your name again.
My name is Biggie. Was he intoxicated or he was just acting like it?
You answer who the guy the police officer was trying to talk to?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. Obviously, he was acting like he was drunk or high or something, right? Just because he was being goofy and not really acting like person. So I'm really not sure why he was acting like that, but it didn't look like they had a really good relationship. Like him and the police officer, it looked like they, obviously didn't have a good relationship. Good thing.
So
Well, let me ask you that. Let me. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If you guys were in that situation, and the police officers were walking through your neighborhood and said, "Hey, did you guys hear some gunshots?" Do you think that's an appropriate way to act? The way the guy was acting, just dancing around and ignoring the police officer, or what do you guys think?
Okay, answer from there.
No.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and be real. Do you guys think it's all right to talk to the police? Like if you were out on 3-4 cops walked up and were like, "Hey, we just, we're out here looking. We heard some gunshots. Do you guys know anything? What would you guys do? Would you guys ignore them? Would you guys, and be real? Because I know what it's like. I know what your friends are gonna put pressure on you and be like, "Oh, you snitching? You talking to the cops?" So in a real scenario,
Look, come on.
somebody gotta step up. Somebody gotta be the first one to tell you who's gonna be the leader.
There you go. Say your name.
My name is Elijah. I would feel nervous, but I would talk.
What's your name?
Elijah.
Okay. So what would you do?
I would feel nervous, but I would talk to them.
Okay. All right. And it's all right to feel nervous. I'm 45 years old. I got pulled over and I was nervous myself. So, and I was a cop for 20 years. So that's natural. That's normal. It's okay for you to feel nervous. And a lot of things you do in life, you got to about. When you're nervous, that's good because that's gonna help you. That's gonna help you react, and that's gonna help you to perform the way you're supposed to. So it's okay to be nervous. In the end, I think talking to the cops would probably be the right thing. Imagine somebody just came in and started shooting, and one of those bullets went in your house and hit somebody that you cared about, or just scared somebody in your house. If you had a little sister or a little brother, and a bullet came in the house, you would want the police to find the person that did that, right? I mean, I know I would if somebody shot my house up. So, it's hard for the police to do their job and, and protect you if people don't talk to them. So, definitely that'd be the right thing to do. Even though you'd be nervous, I think it'd be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else do anything different?
Yeah, anybody else? Are you guys nervous when the cops come around? Raise your hand if you're nervous. I know I get nervous.
Once I get up to the top, I'm just gonna start running.
Right, and I think that's the problem. We like Jakai said. He said when he sees a cop, he said he feels like he has to start running. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like he's afraid of the cop. I guess sometimes do you think that we have reasons, especially as Black men, to be afraid of the cops?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, there's nothing that's ever you could. I mean, I could say yes or no. I mean, there are always can see a lot of things you see, in the media, on the news, internet, television. So there is a reason, especially if you don't know, and that's what I said. Just like going back to that first video, the police officer and that young man, it didn't seem like a relationship, and that's what it goes back to. If they had some type of relationship where the young man trusted the police officer trusted the young man, I'm sure the community was better. They could have been, they probably would have worked with each other, but they didn't have a good relationship to begin with. So yeah, I think when people don't have a relationship and don't have trust, there'll be fear. They're definitely gonna be scared, And I think it takes more of people talking to young men, just like you guys, coming out and talking to you and let you know it's okay to be nervous, but at the same time, if you're nervous, ask questions. Just like if you're talking to an adult, if you're talking to a teacher, your principal, or any adult that you come in contact with in your life, you're probably get nervous when you talk to them, and that's fine. But you still have to, be. You guys are right at the point in your lives where you're starting to be young men, so you need to mature. Sometimes you have to step up and do stuff that you don't want to do, or but that's part of becoming a man. So we all do it. I do it every day. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit more of that video. Here you go.
It ain't your block.
Yeah, my shit.
It ain't your shit.
Take that shit off.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do?
Take that shit off.
What are you gonna do about it?
Take that shit off.
What are you gonna do about it?
Are you threatening us right now? Take the shit off. Are you threatening us? Take the shit off. Are you threatening us? You threatening us?
Go to my phone. Off the couch. Y'all come over here every day.
Palm Bay King copy number 28.
Outside.
I'm making it.
Call LBPD.
I'm making it.
Alpha Zulu 6-1 Papa Zulu
Go
on a
ahead.
Chrysler.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Y'all
That's all y'all
come
can do.
nowhere.
I'm
Yeah, that's my man. Yep, that's my man. We're married. Y'all don't got no reason to be up here. What's against the law? What's against the law? What's against the law?
You guys see anything over there?
What's against the law? What's against the law?
What's your name is?
Sergeant Valdez,
Badge number, sir.
175.
I don't give. What's your shit?
FTO Mitchell.
What's your badge number?
135.
Sorry, don't give.
Bang. Yeah. Y'all try to come over here every day. Y'all bored ass. Y'all don't got shit else to do. Y'all don't solve rape cases. Y'all don't solve rape cases. Y'all don't solve none of that shit. Y'all weird ass bitches. Y'all horny. No weird ass. Y'all horny.
Flat tires, I gotta.
Not doing shit. Weird ass. Y'all don't do shit. Dumbass. Y'all don't do shit to each other. When was the last murder case y'all?
Yeah. So, Jay, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, for me, it's the disrespect that I see on here. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I feel like we have where it becomes a problem. And a lot of our kids are looking at this. I don't know how old. I think I looked at I think the one guy's like 18, the other one might be like 20 something. But I think our kids see our people who are older than us acting like that, and then we in return, not we, but them in return, kind of do the same thing. I was having a discussion with one of the kids that were here, and they were at the same event that I was at, and the kids were just telling the cops, suck my thing and do this. I mean, all in their face. These kids is probably younger than them. Some of them was even younger than them. Was like 11, 10, 9, and it's just being, just acting crazy. And my thing is when you were a cop, or maybe not you, but some other people who were cops that when kids would talk like that, how do you think the cops will react?
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel good. I mean, if you could, there's been times where police officer, I might be walking down the street in Harrisburg, and I see, a mom walking with a young child, and you know, say in the morning or something, the mother might snatch the kid away and be like, don't talk to the cops, don't talk to the police. You know, that doesn't feel good. You know, it's kind of without racism. You know, it's kind of the same thing. If somebody doesn't like you just because of the color of your skin, as police officers, people don't like us because of what we wear. You know, because the uniform sometimes is related to bad things, sometimes it's related to good things. But all people hear about is the bad things. You know, so you know, I think when you know, I think it definitely doesn't make people feel good when, you know, somebody talks to them like that, especially when it's coming from a younger person, because young people should just naturally for the elders and for older people. So I think if somebody starts treating someone like that from the very beginning, it's gonna throw a wrench into that. It's hard for them to have good communications. You know, if you know, imagine if you guys went to school and as soon as you walk in the classroom, your teacher's like, "Sit down, shut up," and you know, I hate. It's not good. You can have a long day in school if that's how, you know, if that's the first thing your teacher says to you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's all about treating people right and just being good to people.
No doubt. Anybody else have any questions back here? You good? James? All right, come on.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not sure if it's on your side, but the screen, I can't see you guys.
Yeah, it was just you.
It's
Hold
like
on.
the whole screen.
I got you.
There you go. There was one other video you sent me that I liked. I wanted to. Which one was it? I think
Yeah,
it was actually the. Yeah, there was one where it was. Actually, I think it might be that one with a minute 32.
All right. Oh, he had a question though. Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you good?
My name is James.
You might stand up too. There you go. You good?
My name is James, and like, if somebody that you have seen, and like if you're the police officer in that video, and you saw somebody that was either on probation or a house arrest and they were outside of their house, would you stop the situation that you were in and you were trying to solve, or would you handle that situation first?
Good question. Good question. All right. Before I answer your question, it's not a Bucs jersey, is it? That's a Kansas City jersey. Is that a Tampa Bay jersey or Kansas City?
It's Kansas City.
Yeah, it kind of look like them old Bucs jerseys. Yeah, okay. Your name is James too. I was about to give you some props, man, but I don't know. You got that Chiefs jersey on, so I don't know. I can't. You're all right. You're all right though. The Patrick Mahomes. But you know, that was a really good question though. So there's been a lot of times when I was a police officer, when I was doing something, and I see something else. And every situation is different. You know, if I'm rescuing a dog out of a tree, and I see a person walk by as one for murder. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna go get the person's one for murder. But if I'm doing something very important and something very minor happens, you know, I'm not gonna leave that important thing I'm doing. So every situation is different. But that's a really that was a really thoughtful question. You know, good job, good question.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to switch to this other video here. So this video is. We'll just play it. It's only a minute 32. I'll play the whole thing. I want you guys to really pay attention to this video. This kid here, he's 13, so he's either as old as some of you guys are just right there, you know, right at that age. So yeah, get it set up for you guys. There we go.
Did anybody include Mr. Richard in the head count? I was wondering.
You messing up the stream. Right, you messing up the stream.
Hands out your pockets. The reason why we're stopping. Keep your hands out your pockets. The reason why we're stopping is you're riding the roadway and you're walking. Oh shit! I forgot about that. What do you mean you forgot about that? Like he was just having fun. Like he was living over there. I just pat you down and make sure you got no weapons on you. I'm on him. He's bound. He's racing for his life.
He's pointing the gun at the cop.
What the fuck did he shoot?
Back up! Back up! Back up!
Got shots fired. Let me see.
He's got right there. Go right there. Cover the cross street. We need to block those off.
Hey, give me a light here. Give me a light here.
And 900 block of shell needs to be closed off.
Hey, DK, you can stop it. I don't think it's anything else. You can stop it. Yo, you know what's crazy? You know how many times I never shot anybody. I've never been shot, but I've been in a lot of situations like real close. So even to this day, you know, that still gives me the chills. Like watching that, that's crazy. I don't know if how you guys feel about that, but
Yeah. So
crazy.
you guys understand? So you want to explain it, or you want me to talk about what happened? You know the background.
You probably need to talk about. I know some of the details, but I think that was a fake gun too, wasn't it? It wasn't even a real gun.
Yeah. So listen, y'all. So basically, the kid that's in there, he had a fake gun. It was a BB gun, but it looked real. It had the serial number, everything. It looked real. So there's no way the cop right then could tell if it was real or not. It looked exactly like a real one. And here he's, you know, they're questioning him for something about well, they started questioning about where he was walking at because they weren't supposed to like be walking somewhere, but really, I guess there was some like robberies in the area. So anyway, so they're checking him out, and what he does is he ends up, you know, they're talking to him, and he runs. So not only does he run, which is already the wrong thing to do, then he turns around and points a fake gun at people who have real guns. How silly is, you know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Because even if you was a criminal and you trying to get away, you pulling a BB gun out against people with real guns, that's not going to help you, you know what I mean, get away. You know, do you guys understand that? So what I'm saying is that to me, he made two crucial mistakes, you know what I mean, that he didn't have to make. He didn't have to run, and he didn't have to, you know, pull out the gun. You know what I mean? Now, did the cop have to shoot him? What do you guys think? No. So if you're a police officer, let's who said no? All right, here you go. You both of y'all stand up. Both of y'all stand up. Just stand up. Yeah, you can stand up too. All right, and we'll start with Terrell, and you can just answer from back there. But if you're a police officer, right, and you heard that someone was robbing someone, this guy, you come question this guy, he runs away from you, and he pulls a gun out on you. I mean, you got kids, you got a family, he pulls a gun out at you. What are you going to do? But okay, because you don't right now. Remember, you don't know that it's a fake gun. All you know is that he points a gun at you
from a distance. So it ain't like you just can't run up.
Yeah, because
the bullets are going to fly.
No. But that's fine. That's very. What about you? What do you do? Yeah, just what it is. The same exact thing happened to you. You would have shot him.
No, I would have teased him.
Okay. What was you at, Don?
I would have teased him while he was running.
So James, if you were in that situation, what do you do if the gun is pulled out on you? Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, James, you go in the back.
No, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, James. You would try to get him on the ground?
Instead of shooting, because you shoot somebody that didn't have a real gun, you can take
Okay. All right, Officer Hawkins, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, it's a gun at me, I'm gonna defend myself. You know, I'm gonna do whatever I do to make sure that I'm not killed. So in that case, yeah, I would have had to shoot him too.
Right. So my thing was, I watched a couple different videos and different angles, and what happened? So the guy pulls the gun out, and if you see when he pulls the gun out, that's not when a cop shoots him. And the cop who's chasing him actually does what the cop shot the kid. The kid died. So Terrell, I think Terrell, one of you guys said that you would chase him down, and that's what the cop did. The cop actually chased him down and tackled him. The cop that we saw the video from, that's not the one who shot him. He actually tackled him and got him on the ground. And then when he was on the ground and they were wrestling around, another cop who was on the side of him is the one who actually shot him. Now, to me,
Can I just jump in and one thing I just want you guys have to think about in the video, like a body camera video, and it gets paused and they stop and show the gun. I mean, that's like a split second. That cop you watch on the video, the cop might not even saw that first police officer. He might not even saw that gun at first, because I don't think I heard anybody say gun and kind of like tussling and rolling around. So even though we on the video saw the gun at the very beginning, they might not know he had the gun until they were on the ground rolling. Just keep in mind when you see all these videos, that's not necessarily what the person was seeing. Just because you got a GoPro on or a body camera on, a lot of stuff happening, and you're not watching it like a TV show. This is real life happening. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that happen in your life that if you could damn, I didn't know it happened like that. So we look at things a lot differently when we watch these videos on TV than how it really happens in life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of it is, if I was in that position as an officer and I seen that, I would go right into defense mode as well. But the reason why officers only got to go in defense mode is because I think us, and when I mean us, I say a lot, in particular Black people, we get into defense mode the second we see lights flash behind us. And I think it's because that comes with a lack of trust that we have for officers due to the history of the things that we see on the internet, online. So it's hard for us to communicate and try to work a situation down when there's like, okay, I might not make it out of this scene alive due to the fact of there's no trust. So I think when we get pulled over, if you was to pull us over, we don't see you as James Hawkins. We see you as an officer or someone that's
the uniform
versus who you are as an individual. So I think a lot of it has to do with that and how we can kind of bridge that gap.
No, you hit the nail on the head, because when I used to work in the schools, like when I first got into schools, it was the same thing. People, and then once he started seeing, oh man, he's kind of regular. He just, he acts normal. Then once they started trusting me, just like you said, then that communication. And man, by the time I got kids to this day, call me Officer Hawkins.
Right.
I ain't been in school for 20 years, so it's just that relationship. Yeah.
They see and I think that's the difference. Like those kids, you get to build a relationship versus when you're at a traffic stop and you don't got you got 5 minutes to try to establish a relationship before everything goes left.
Yeah.
And it's like how
so we got
right in defense mode.
Yeah. So you're right. So we need to build those relationships before the traffic stop.
Right.
So before a traffic stop happens, they know, hey, let me, and just as into something I wanted to talk about, you think he made two critical decisions that, cost him his life. It happened. I want to back it up even farther and say he made one bad decision before he even got out there. I'm going to speak from experience. Like I said, me and DK, we grew up together. Me and DK were friends, before, when we were younger than you guys. And so that's been over 30 years. And in that 30 years, I can tell you, we made a lot of bad decisions. We did a lot of things and we were in a lot of positions that could have got us in a lot of trouble, if not killed or, in jail or anything in between. And what I want to say is, when we were kids, even though we got in those situations and we had to deal with police and we had to, deal with parents or whatever else, every time we were in those situations, we knew we were wrong. We knew what we were doing. And just like you guys at the age, you know what you feel in your head and what's in your gut, in your heart. You know what you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be doing. So the first decision that kid made or did wrong was being out there in the street in the dark, whatever time it was, with a gun on, and just being suspicious. Like, he knows he was wrong. He knows he was wrong. That's why he ran. And the thing I'm saying is, you guys know you're wrong. So what you have to do. You all want to be men one day, right?
Yes.
Oh, nobody wants to be a man. You all right?
Yes.
So
He said,
one person in that room wants to be a man. Are you serious?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think. Look, I think one day you all want to be men, and part of being a man is being in control of your emotions and making good decisions. You know,
yes.
and it's hard. I struggle with it to this day, but being in control of your decisions will make your life so much easier. You guys are gonna make bad decisions. You're gonna make wrong decisions. It's okay, but you have to keep doing it. You know, because you might get lucky the first time, but you might not get lucky the second, third, fourth, fifth time if you continue to make those bad decisions. You know, just if you want to be a man, listen to the men that you have in front of you, you know, that you see every day, and watch how they move and watch what they do, and learn from that. Learn how to make your decisions from that. Because I'm telling you, you'll be in a lot better position than that young man that we just saw in that video, because he made a bad decision. So that fake gun in his waistband, and just out there doing something he had no business doing. And I won't guarantee. I'll say probably 80. They were probably the ones out there robbing people. You out walking around dark clothes in the middle of the street with no light on your bike, and you got a gun on, and two plus two equals 4. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so don't even put yourself in that position. That's all I'm saying. Everything I just said is don't put yourself in a position where you got to deal with that. Sometimes it might just happen, but a lot of times people in position. So just be smart ahead of time.
Hey, I was trying to suggest, listen, because how many times in situations where you have autistic children that they see someone like Justin, tall, big, acting a certain way, and we see the consequences to that. That's why when I say when he's acting a certain way, don't laugh at him. Because when you laugh at him, then he's going to continue to want to act that behavior. You can't give it attention and you can't feed it. Hawk, we're talking about a young man that we have here that's autistic, and he's in 9th or 10th grade. And how many times with autistic men, black men, that get in trouble with the law and don't know how to react and respond to a situation, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So I saw a video of a guy the other day that's been in the streets of Harrisburg for years. He's autistic, and luckily for him, he never got killed, never got hurt. But Jeffrey Brown, know him. Jeffrey with the big old belly that walks around the city. I don't know if you see him on videos. Ratchet 5 just had him on a video the other day, giving him hugs in the street. But anyways, so nowadays it's a little different because there's so much more training. Police officers and social workers and healthcare workers. So years ago there wasn't as much training, so people weren't as familiar with how they didn't know what it was. So now it's a lot different. So I think when it comes to dealing with people with autism or any, not just autism, any mental health issue, because 75% of the stuff we deal with, police officers deal with, or anybody in the social service, 75% of that has some type of mental health issue. So I think it requires a little more patience, and if you guys would ever be out, you would see someone like you said, the kid Jeff, the student that has autism. If you see him having a problem, you need to help that situation. Laugh, not pull out your phone. You need to maybe make a person aware, maybe make the adult aware. Hey, Jeff has this problem. He doesn't understand. So that's what I said about making the right decisions and being a good person. A lot of times these days, everybody just wants to record stuff and just make a big joke and think everything's funny, but that's hurting a lot of people. And it's not making the world a better place. Making the world a better place. So think about taking care of people that are around you. I mean, especially if you see people every day in school, every day at the academy. People, take care of those people. Those are people that's your village, that's your family. Take care of them.
Yes, thank you all.
Yeah, hey Jimmy, I got one more video I wanted to do. Before I wanted to do the video, I just kind of relate to this video I'm about to show. So kind of not the same exact thing, but something similar. I was on. You guys remember Mr. Damien, right? Yeah, so I had picked Mr. Damien up. This was in the military. I picked Mr. Damien up. They were going to play basketball. So we're going up Pine Street, right? So I get to I'm on 19th and turning up Pine, and there's a cop. He's in front of me, and he tells me to go. So, and I'm not doing anything wrong, you know. So I go, I turn, and then like three cops come down the street, and they block the street off. And then the cop that's behind me comes, he blocks the street off, and another cop blocks the street off. And I have no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? And they all get out and they have their guns drawn, right? They all had their guns drawn. And, they're yelling at us, put your hands here, do this and do that. And anyway, to make a long story short, I felt very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Here, I don't know what I've done. And, I'm in the military and I have all these cops pointing their guns at me. And I'm only at that time, I think I'm about 20, maybe 21. And anyway, they pulled me over because they said, what did they say? Oh, they were looking for an unfamiliar car, and I don't know if that's the reason to have, guns drawn. But I mean, if I would have probably acted the way, maybe the first guy acted, start talking all crazy, they might have been like, oh yeah, this is exactly who we're looking for. They could have just started shooting, you know what I mean? If I'd have got all upset, like I ain't do nothing, yelling back and forth at them, they might have, took it as more of a threat and actually, shot me. But it's like, what do you do in those situations? And I want you to answer the question after the video, though, because the video is kind of the same thing. But the question I want you guys to think about and James to think about is what do you do when you're doing all the right things and it still doesn't matter to the cop? You know what I mean? And the situation that I'm going to play here, I think that really speaks to that. Hold on one second. Yeah, here you go.
Hey, Rick, I know.
Yeah.
I just said this, but you kind of. It's the same thing what I was saying, before about, acting men. They want to grow in the men, in the strong men. Becoming a man requires patience. Control of your emotions. And when I say control of your emotions, that's when you're faced with a situation like what you just said. Being able to control that, even though you're nervous, still holding it together, because,
right.
If you can't hold it together, that's what's going to lead to, bad decisions. Like I said, it's something I practice every day, and I ain't figured this out till I was older. That's why I keep saying it. A lot of young men I talk to, I'm like, control. I mean, I know y'all hear me saying, I know you guys probably don't understand it, or you're probably like, what's this old dude talking about? But I'm telling you, if you can control your emotions, you're gonna be so much better. So
yeah, I hope you guys really listen to that, because I think that's the main difference between men and women, besides things that we have, is really our emotions. I mean, men as true men, you got to be able to control your emotions. That's why, and we ain't saying that you can't cry, but you got to be able to stay strong and not be so sensitive. You know what I mean?
In reality, young ladies and women, they don't want you to be that way. They don't want a man that's emotional. They don't want you to be all sensitive. They want you to be able to speak up, speak out, be able to communicate. But because she gets smart and then you get smart, that's you being emotional. Let her get smart. It's okay. And you practice it now with your friends. So when you're complaining like, oh, he got smart with me and that, so what? That's what he got smart with you. Move on. It's not going to be the first. It's not going to be the last. But what happens is we get emotional. We get embarrassed. So then we want to respond. You got to pick your battles, and you don't have to respond to everything. But a good woman is going to like a man, a young man that's not all emotional.
Yeah, and I think part of not being emotional, when you become emotional, it doesn't allow you to be your best. I think about I see Nyrell and Arnell back there, and I just think about the basketball team. Whenever we become too emotional or we let our emotions take control, we don't play our best. But when we stay under control, you know what I mean? We can be any team. So
and being disciplined.
I
said too is important because you gotta be disciplined just for the benefit of the doubt and a better cause. Like just what they were saying, even if you get pulled over or they telling you put your hands up, got guns pointing at you, and you want as bad as you want to argue your case, being disciplined could save your life. You just do it just because, again, it's the doubt.
That's right.
Real quick,
1,000%.
my fault, Mr. James. Piggyback off of Mr. DK and his kid, and Mr. Rich said, the biggest thing I think too, just for a lot of the generation now, is just their egos. The biggest thing is when somebody hurts their ego, it's like, I gotta get back at you. I gotta make sure that you don't, get that pain off of me. But for me, I always tell people, man, like, I have a big ego too, but it doesn't mean every time somebody steps to me or says something to me, I have to go fight you, or I gotta counter react and like do something crazy to you. It can easily be just a simple conversation, especially if we're supposed to be close and we're friends. Like me and DK, I consider DK a close friend too. If we have an issue, I should be able to go talk to him rather than say something about him or treat him a certain way or try to act different. If we're friends and I really call him my brother, we should be able to talk about it. Hey, bro, you offended me when you did this, but I want to get over that because I don't want to have no bad blood. But a lot of things, especially the generation now, it's about keeping the bad blood and not just getting over things. And that comes into play, like this kid said, with the emotional and being emotional. So I think that's the biggest thing too, just the biggest ego part of it.
Right. And do they know what ego? That's a later discussion, but do they, when you say that word ego,
right,
do they even understand?
Yeah,
what that means. And I think that's important. These are things that's important to teach them, because all of us here, we've been in trouble at some point with the law. And the thing is, and knowing, like Hawk said, knowing you was wrong. When I got pulled over and was in trouble, I knew I was wrong. But in the first thing, because I knew I was really wrong, this is how it used to be. Forget being scared of the cops. I was scared of my mom. I'm like, look, Don called Hawk, like, what should I do? And I'm like, look, don't call my mom. I don't care about the cops. I can deal with the cops. Just don't call my mom. Yeah. And that was the fear that you had.
You was older.
And I was older. I was like 26. But don't call my mom. Don't call my mom. As she rests in peace, like, don't call my mom. That was the fear that I had of my mother. And the fear really is the respect. It's not even fear, it's the respect that I have for my mother. I knew I was wrong. I'm not going to be ignorant with the cops, because then if that gets back to my mom, I'm be in trouble even more.
Now it's, can you call my mom?
Now, can you call my mom, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Can you call my, right? Can you call my mom compared to don't call my mom? Something's wrong with that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I want what my mom to know.
Yeah, you got it, James.
It's yours, Hawk.
Oh, what, you want to play that video? We never even watched the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, here we go. Now, really pay attention to this, girl.
So true. We got to remember that.
Well, we don't know exactly when Officer Joe Gutierrez was fired, but we know he was terminated following an internal investigation that found department policy was not followed. Now, the other officer is still employed with Windsor Police. Their body camera footage, along with the personal cell phone video of the man they pulled over, show us what happened in December. Now, we've watched these videos many times to put the story together, and it does not get any easier. Viewers should be warned, this video can be disturbing. 6:30 p.m., December 5th, 2020. Lieutenant Karan Nazario, driving in his Army fatigues through the small town of Windsor, Virginia, saw flashing lights in his rearview mirror. He wasn't sure why he was being pulled over. According to his lawsuit, he slowed down and put his blinker on, indicating his intention to pull over, but didn't do so for another minute and 40 seconds, which he later explained was in order to find a well-lit area.
Driver, roll the window down. Put your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
Hearing these different commands while sitting in his car with his seatbelt on, Nazario began recording from his own cell phone and put his hands out the window as ordered. Turns out, Officer Daniel Crocker had not seen the temporary license plate taped to the back window of Nazario's brand new Chevrolet Tahoe. And seeing tinted windows and a driver not stopping right away, Crocker decided it was a high-risk traffic stop. But this was never explained to Nazario, who for several minutes continued to ask why he'd been pulled over.
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car!
Body camera footage shows Officer Joe Gutierrez, gun drawn, unfastening the Velcro around what may be his taser at this time.
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
The lawsuit says Nazario thought ride the lightning meant he could be killed.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I
Yeah, you
ask you
should
what's
be.
going on?
Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest for, you're being detained, okay? You're being detained for
For a
obstruction of justice.
traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
About 2 to 3 minutes in, Officer Crocker tried to open the driver's door. In his report, he wrote, quote, "When I attempted to unlock and open the driver's door, the driver assaulted myself by striking my hand away and pulled away from Officer Gutierrez's grip." But in his own body camera footage, Nazario is not seen striking anyone. Crocker's report also says that at this point, Gutierrez, quote, "gave several more commands to comply with orders or he would be sprayed with his OC spray, but no such warnings could be heard." Gutierrez just sprayed Nazario, still without either officer having told Nazario what exactly he was pulled over for.
That's up. That's
Get out of the car now.
I don't even want to reach for my seatbelt. Can you?
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. You made this way more difficult than it had to be. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Please talk to
Get
me
on the
about
ground
what's going
now.
on. Can you please talk to me about what's going on? Why am I being treated like this?
You're
Why?
not cooperating. Get on the ground. Lay down, you're gonna get paid.
The officers handcuffed Nazario, then stood him back up. He told them his dog was in the back seat and was choking from the pepper spray. Medics arrived and the conversation mellowed.
What would have been a 2-minute traffic stop turned into all this.
Nazario explained why he didn't immediately pull over.
I was pulling over so I.
All right. Yeah, so what do you think, Hawk?
I think there's a whole lot. There's so much wrong with that on both sides. I don't know. I think probably the first. See, what I always do when I see different situations, any situation on TV or whether it's something in real life, I always put myself in someone's shoes. So if I was that Army officer, he's an Army officer. He's educated. He has a degree. He wasn't acting right from the beginning. You know, he could have been. I think he could have been more. In the position he holds in the military, he should have acted different. I think that was probably the first thing in a line of a whole bunch of bad things that happened from both all police officers and the Army officer. Like I don't know, he could have reacted different.
Tell me this. What about his? I guess the first thing that probably messed with the cops was that he didn't pull over right away. He was waiting to get to a well lighted area. Or as an officer, are you okay with that? Because I know, like, some of you guys will be driving soon or have their license. Is that something that you should do? Go to a well lighted area, or does that make the cops nervous if you do that?
No, you can. And if you're just driving, as long as you're not speeding away, you're driving regular. And there's things you can do to kind of let the police officer know, hey, look, I'm not. You can put your four ways on. Just drive, speed, pull over at the first place you feel safe to pull. What I tell people is if I get pulled over, I never pull over on the side of the road. I pull over in a parking place where I can park, and park my car, because if you pull over on the side of the road and say something happens that you can't drive your car's going to get towed. So if I get pulled over, I'm going to keep driving until I can find a parking space, whether it's at a gas station or a grocery store. And, put your four ways on. If it's night, turn the lights on inside your car so the cop can see inside the car so he's not nervous. I try to make the cop feel as easy, as I want, as I want to feel with him. So I'm like, look, I'll turn my lights on. If I got tinted windows, I'll roll the window down. Like, look, I ain't doing nothing. I don't got no gun. I'm not going to put my hands on the steering wheel, but I'll let it somewhere so you can see I'm not playing around. But there's different things you can do to ease the situation. And that's, like I said, with that Army officer, I kind of feel like if you're in the military, you have a voice. You can talk. You know how to, especially if you're an officer. So if you got cops coming up saying, you know, telling you, hey, turn the car off, your commands, you're not gonna sit there and be like, what did I do? Why are you pulling me? You're not gonna talk like that. You're like, hey, I'm an officer in the military. What, you know, hey, what do you need me to do? Sorry. You know, you're gonna know how to effectively communicate. So I don't think that I don't know what that guy was doing, the Army officer, but it was just weird at the beginning. But after that happened, they all made wrong decisions. The cops made a whole bunch of wrong decisions after that. So I'm not just saying that the Army officers, they were all wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and the guy did win his lawsuit. I think at like 50.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the cops are wrong. I mean, so for me, okay, the guy's acting a little funny. He's not really responding. Once I get up here and I see actually in uniform, it's not just like he gets some he stole this Army jacket. Once I see, he's really in the military, that's going to change my demeanor anyways. Because I'm like, all right, so he's in the military. Most likely he's probably somewhat regular. You know, he's probably not here doing some BS, you know. And plus, there's different things. As he's walking up to, he probably should have saw the temporary tag in the back window as he got closer, which should have been like, okay, this car's not stolen. So there's different things, and that's what I'm saying. It's just mistakes made on both sides, man. So it's just it just comes down to the training and the police officers. Those police officers, they were overboard. The young guy, he was young, didn't look like he knew what he was doing. The older guy looked like he was old, disgruntled. You know, so it was just a bad mix all around.
Yeah, I think what we just saw, from my point of view, I think the cops was looking for a reason to kill that man. And the reason why I say that is because when he had his hands out, so it's like they're not asking him to do certain, like his guns pointed at him. So it's like you telling me to take my seatbelt off, but you see there's nothing in my hands. You see my hands, and you got guns. So I reach for my seatbelt. Bullets could be letting off. What's going through his mind? He's like, one move, I move my hand with these guns pointed at me, I'm dead. So I think it was a reason why. And it's like in that situation, life or death, what do you say? The only thing you got is my hands is here. You do the rest. Like there's like, what do I say in a position like that when I got three guns pointed at me and you're asking me to reach for something? Usually that's how it ends up. Shots was drawn because we see him reach for something. They ask him to reach for his seatbelt. So he reaches for his seatbelt. We don't know what happens after that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think you're right. But that's so there was a bunch of bad decisions made. So the whole part where they were telling him to take his seatbelt off, you're right. That was in the middle. And that was after. So when it started, if you take the first time the cop said something to him, you know, when the cop got out of the car with his gun out, telling him, you know, turn the car off. Once the guy, then they start doing this. Then it turns into a contest, ego contest. The cops, I'm telling you what to do, you're not doing it. The guy's in the car with his, so there's no effective communication, you know. And then it gets to the part where, like you said, they're telling them one hand, show us your hands, and then the next command is take your seat. So what you supposed to do, you know, like you said. And at that point, everybody's adrenaline, everything is elevated. So that's even more opportunity or a chance for something bad to happen. So, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, at the very beginning, you can't get to that point. So it's all before we even get to that point where, you know, something bad can happen. That's what I think. I think we got to start making better decisions way, you know, early before people start getting heated and it gets to that point where somebody can get shot. Because you're right. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Take your seatbelt off. You reach in for the seatbelt. He thinks you're reaching for a gun. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just a bad way around.
Don't get how he was supposed to take off his seatbelt if he had pepper spray in his eyes.
Well, that's what I mean. It just got to that point. It's once it's at, you should never really pepper spray somebody in a car, you know, because if they drive away pepper spray in their eyes, that could turn bad. You guys have to understand that life, a lot of times when you make one, it leads to a bunch of bad decisions. You ever hear like what a snowball effect is? If you take a little tiny snowball and you roll it down the hill, it's snow. By the time it gets to the bottom of the hill, it's a big ball. It's the same thing when you make bad decisions. You make one bad decision, and then it just keeps going. And before you know it, you're 10 bad, and something really bad happens. So as young men, you guys got to start to be a little more mature and make that good decision early, so it doesn't even get to where you got to be in trouble or somebody gets hurt or whatever. So start making. We gotta make those good decisions early.
All right. So,
Does that make sense?
real quick, I'm gonna open up for any questions you guys have for Hawk. We want to close it out. So, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Come up. Well, you can go first, Kai, then James.
Hi, my name's Jakai. So I just wanted to wonder why was they pointing their guns out if they like saw his badge and that he was in the army?
Well, yeah. And once they saw it was already everybody was already hyped up by that point. So I don't know if they knew he was in the army at first. It probably took a little while till they saw his uniform, but I kind of feel the same way. Once I saw the uniform, that what kind of gave me like, okay, he's legit. But unfortunately, sometimes people are good at their job, sometimes people are bad at their job, and there's good and bad cops. Some people are good cops, some people are bad cops.
For this sort of situation, why was the cop not asked for his name or like none of that?
I think the reason they gave is because they thought the car might have been stolen. So when it's something like that, the way you do the traffic stop is a little different. You don't just walk up to the car and say, hey, copy your driver's license. You actually get the person out of the car, like at gunpoint, or maybe if they had like a canine. So it's just like a little different situation. That's why they did it that way in that case.
All right, James.
But like I said, police officers go to school just like people go to college. Police officers go to school for 4, sometimes 6 months, and they have to learn all this stuff. It's not easy, and they're good. People make mistakes, so they're cops aren't perfect. So sometimes people make mistakes on purpose, or sometimes they make mistakes which are accidents. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes people do make mistakes. Sometimes things are intentional though too.
So I had watched a movie and somebody was getting pulled over and he had a hairbrush in his hand. Oh, he was told to put his hands on the dashboard and he had got a hairbrush and he was shot. So who was at fault? Because he shot him for no reason, but he disobeyed his rules instead of putting his hands on the dashboard.
Yeah, it's every situation is a little different. So the parts are they change who was right or who was wrong. So I don't really want to say who was right or wrong in that situation. But once again, keep saying make the right decisions. If if you're in a car, you get pulled over and the cop says, "Let me see your hands," or take whatever's out of your hands, just do it. Why do you have to hold on to a brush? In the whole big, you get pulled over. What does that brush have to do with anything? Like if he says put the brush down or put down what's in your hand, just do it. Just make. That's how I look at it. When people make things difficult, that usually ends up turning into something else. So,
all right,
I think Miss Kia said earlier, pick and choose your battles. And that's one of those cases. Do I want to have an argument over holding this brush in my hand? Is this brush that important to me? You fighting over a brush. Look, I got brushes. I brush my beard up. I'm gonna get shot and die over this. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. So,
Have you ever worked with a cricket cop, like a bad cop?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got there's in any job in the world, you're gonna have good and bad. As an NBA player, you got good NBA players like LeBron. LeBron's a good role model, does what he's supposed to. And you got some bad NBA players that might do things. So you're always gonna have good or bad. You're always gonna have good or bad. So
and that's why I think a lot of it falls down on us because, like you said, it's good cops and bad cops, and that's why our self-discipline and self-control got a plan because we may be dealing with a bad cop and we don't even know it. So that's why it's important to just make smart decisions and make sure that you're controlling your emotions because you might be talking to a bad cop. You might be talking to a good cop. You never know. So that's why you just follow everything they say and just be disciplined and show some self-control.
Yeah, and like you said, you could be talking to a good cop because there's so many times I was out and I was trying to help somebody and they're over here talking to me crazy. Talking like I'm the person like you don't even know. I'm probably the one cop you want to be friends with, And I mean, I've told DK countless stories about stuff like that. So you never know who you're talking to. And that's in life. You might see somebody on the street looks like a bum, and they might be multi-millionaire, owner of a bit. So you never know who you're talking to. Treat everybody the same until they give you a reason not to. Yo, shout out to Brad too. I heard Brad back there talking. What up, Brad? Oh, you left the room?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, tell Brad I said what up when he comes back. Sorry, go ahead, man.
Have you ever shot somebody?
Yeah. With a water gun, with a super soaker. I probably shot somebody with a BB gun when I was a kid. I probably was bad. I probably shot somebody with a BB gun. But no, when I was a police officer, I pulled my gun out a lot. I knew a lot of people, but I never shot anybody. And I'm thank God I never had to, because I can guarantee you 99.9% go to work every day. They don't go to work talking about, I hope I shoot somebody today. Nobody wants to have to do that because that changes everybody's life. That's not nobody. Yeah.
So if you were like in that situation, what would you do if you were like the soldier?
As a soldier, I would just follow directions. I would just when they were talking to me, I would just do whatever I had to do to make sure they just pull me over. I'm like, damn, why they pull me over? I ain't doing anything. I'm just make sure I just follow directions, be patient, because you're not, whatever happens, like a nut or whether you act regular, you can't win that situation when a cop pulls you over. All right, so a cop pulls you over and you act like a nut, and you decide to drive off and run away. Guess what? You just gonna get all of them. You're gonna get more charges. So it's like you might as well just sit there. If you're getting arrested, you're gonna get arrested. You can't win that. So that's where that patience comes in. Sometimes, like Miss Kia said, you got to pick and choose your battles. All right, I'm not going to win this battle out here standing on Camera Street arguing. I'm going to have to go see it, and I'm going to have to go to the courtroom and win there. And sometimes having that patience might pay off for you in the long run. So I'm going to keep saying it. You guys got to work on your patience and controlling your emotions. That's all I'm going to keep saying because that's it. That's what it comes down to.
Have you ever been in a situation where a cop was doing the wrong thing to somebody that was either accused of doing something? Like, did you ever say like you shouldn't be doing this because there's no if he was being wrong, like he was saying the wrong stuff and he wasn't handling it the right way? Like, have you ever said something or have you ever handled it?
Times. Yeah, a whole lot of times where I see people talking to people disrespectfully or treating people, with disrespect for no reason or whatever. Yeah, you heard me say this earlier. I say treat people good. Just be a good person, treat people right, and just be fair until somebody gives you a reason not to. I'm never gonna treat somebody bad just for no reason. So, if I see somebody doing it, I'm gonna definitely say something about it. I don't appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, Officer Hawkins, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything, man. Give it up, Officer Hawkins, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. Hopefully, look, I know I was in that seat a long time ago listening to cops talk or listening to people talking. I probably got about this much of what they said, but hopefully you guys at least take, and just because I want you guys to all be safe. Like I said, my kids are sitting in them same seats, and now they're grown. So, shoot. So I definitely want to see you guys all be grown one day and be out there, doing your thing. So make good decisions.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Everybody have anything for all? Okay. All right.
All right, fellas.
Yo, what's the question? Hurry up. What's the question?
Have you ever done
Have what?
Have you ever done?
Hey, stop. Yo. He said, have you ever dealt with a racist person? A racist cop or a racist person?
Man.
Is it?
All the above. All the above, yes. I dealt with racist people. Oh, man, I mean, yeah, all the time. But my answer to that is?
Yeah, I got it. All right.
Anybody? Emotional control. Patience, emotional control. You can't anybody say
Most of them-
something to me that's good, a racist person can't say something to me to get me out of my character, out of pocket. You gotta be in control, man, all the time. You gotta be in control of this.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
All right.
Got the
Wait,
Umar.
yeah. All right. Hey guys, let's just close out. Who wants to pray us out?
Me.
All right.
James, let James do it, man. James been asking a bunch of good questions today, man. Let James hold it down.
James, you want to pray us out?
Oh, my bad, brother. I ain't mean to. Oh, man. I ain't mean. Go ahead. Hey, let them both do it. My bad, man. My bad.
Come on, y'all. Yeah, everybody want to pray. All right. Let's go, y'all.
Now they fighting over praying, right?
Right. All right, let's go.
Thank you, God, for everything that you have given. Thank you, God, for all the videos that we've seen and all the knowledge that we gained from watching and listening and paying attention. And I would just like to have some prayer about that. Everything that happened in this video will never happen to any human in this building. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
Wait, hold on. Let me close the video.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
I'll say one last thing. Hey,
Yeah,
I
go
hope you guys have a good rest of the summer, but what y'all need to do is y'all need to talk to Mr. DK and see if y'all can take a field trip down here to Florida. Come visit me in Florida.
Y'all want to take a field trip to Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, yeah, we'll go there if James gets the plane tickets. Tell her get the plane tickets.
Oh. Hey, I'll go with you. I'll go half with you.